let them go. They keep stopping me from going where I'm supposed to go. I don't know, it's like every single time, bitch, you running through my mind. I be locked and loaded.
Happy Thursday, everybody. 6:30, heading to pick up Nate, and then got a training from 8 to 9:30, and then a webinar on leadership and virtual conversations from 10 to 2, and then heading over to Now Media to do some recording. So hope you're all doing great. Happy Thursday, everybody. Just grabbing some gas here and thinking about the way that we talk to ourselves, our self-talk up here. I find that a lot of times we end up telling ourselves that we can't accomplish certain things, that we shouldn't even have a go at things, we shouldn't try new things, because we already count ourselves out based on what goes on up here. We think that it's going to take a long time, so it's going to be there. So instead of thinking like in the offense of not losing, we end up holding ourselves back. So think about winning, whatever that might mean in your life, and then going after it. So if, let's say, for example, you wanted to be a college graduate, figure out how you can afford that. Figure out what you can be doing to, apply for grants and maybe the military route, or taking out some student loans. There's a multitude of different ways that we can go about that. If we want to achieve something of success, we can't allow our stinking thinking to hold us back. Turns out. All right, so ran a quick, it was a 90-minute webinar this morning for our new agents. So they were down in Corpus Christi, so it was great chatting with them. And I like to be able to make sure that when I have a training session, that I'm asking some questions, not just does this make sense, but I'm asking questions that gets them involved, calling them out by name, and that keeps them hopefully a little bit more involved in the process. Right now we're doing a webinar here on leadership, leading virtually, and one of the things that they're having us do is go into the chat bar using some of the annotations, arrows, typing, and so you're really getting more interactive. So if you ever do any kind of training and development, you want to see what you can do not only virtually but also face-to-face, and engaging that audience and bringing them in and making it a little bit more interactive. Turns out.
That's why it's really important to think about both personal needs and practical needs.
Virtually.
Let's take a moment and explore that helps unleash ideas. It'll build their commitment and lead to better solutions. By sharing your thoughts, feelings, and rationale, you disclose your inner thoughts and feelings, which demonstrates your trust in others and encourages them to open up and trust you more. And when you're providing support without removing responsibility, what you should be doing is offering guidance and removing barriers as needed without taking away the people's responsibility for completing their work, because that will help build ownership of the task or situation. So you don't want to say, here, let me do this for you, but you would say, how can I help you to do that? And that's when you're providing support without removing responsibility. What questions do you have so far about the key principles? Okay, so let's take a quick look at the interaction guidelines. Remember, key principles are for personal needs, interaction guidelines are for practical needs. And the interaction guidelines are followed in a linear fashion. So you would start by opening your conversation by identifying the purpose of the discussion and the importance. The clarify step is used as an information gathering step. Here's where you seek and share information about the situation or task. The develop step is the idea generating step. Here's where you ask people for ideas or suggestions, and you supplement and build on those ideas as needed. Agree is the action planning step. Here's where everyone specifies actions for addressing the situation, and they include any contingency plans. Everybody basically agrees who's going to do what when. In the close step, you summarize the important features of the plan, and in the close, it gives you an opportunity to express your confidence in the people that you're working with. So you would recap what everybody's going to do and, say something like, and I'm quite certain that we will all be able to complete this task. Give you a chance to
So very busy day. Did training 8:30 to 10 or 8 to 9:30, excuse me, and then from 9:30 to 10 was going to have a one-on-one call, but I had to get pushed off. Then from 10 to 2 was in the leadership, leading a virtual engagement, and then throughout the process was able to get in 12 sets of bicep curls today, and after that, had a 2 o'clock interview, went real well, still continuing in the process with that individual. And then at 3 o'clock, or it was really like 3:20 to 4 o'clock, sat down with Max, did some planning he wants to run some seminars, and you want to be able to make sure that you're doing that. Then 4 to 5, 5:30 now, was doing some administrative stuff, emails, checking in with the recruiter, making sure we move people through the process correctly, and not missing anything. So now we're gonna head home, everybody. Hope you're doing great. Sherm's out. I forgot a lot of times when I do my videos, I don't show you this. Trying to drink a ton of water. So this is a 44 ounce of water, but I whistle a ton. So it's so common that my sons, when I saw them the other day when I was picking them up at the Great Exchange in Indiana, at the Walmart, when I whistled, they were over at the restrooms. A couple that were just waiting on the bench came out, they're like, "Hey, is that Dad?" Because I whistle so often. So it's a very common thing with me. But a lot of times when I do the videos for the vlog, I'm talking, so I'm not whistling. Anyway, so here with Nate Dogg, we're heading home. We're carpooling today. That's we're saving the earth by being super green by carpooling.
Meant to be true to you, a legend in the making, make the best of every moment, cause nothing lasts forever, but forever I'll be focused on the now, never, this my testimony, yeah, that's my testimony, yeah, I'm about to take all of you out, nobody's safe, you're playing it safe.